Alright YouTube, my third narrated Wi-Fi black and white battle. This one is a tournament match against ArmedFro for Grillsea's tournament. And I lead with Flygon, he leads Zapdos. I don't want him to know I'm Choice Scarf, so I just switch. I guess he roosted thinking I would Stone Edge. I substitute, and that means he can't hit me with Toxic. I actually expected him to switch, or maybe Discharge, I wanted to see. I go for my own Discharge, and I get the Paralysis right off, so that's a plus for me. His Discharge crits, I don't think that matters, I think it would break the sub no matter what. So I go for a second sub. No, don't. I switch. I go and Flygon thinking of Discharge again. That is what happens. I Outrage thinking of Switch, afraid of the Stone Edge again. He's not, he roosts, and that means I am doing less damage than he's healing. So when Outrage is over, I will be switching out. I believe he makes it back to full health by the time I'm done with this. And he does. So I switch out, going into Stormy. He actually predicted that I went for Discharge, but it doesn't happen because he's paralyzed. So I Ice Beam. That does a good chunk of damage. Doesn't kill, but he's paralyzed again, meaning the Discharge won't hit me. He switches to his Rotom Wash on my Ice Beam, and that does very little. I think that Psycho Shock should do more than Psychic, so I go for the Psycho Shock. And I get a crit. Almost knocking it out, but not quite. So he went for Confuse Ray, thinking he'd have quite a bit of room to probably Pain Split, maybe Discharge, I don't know. But he went for Confuse Ray. I take the chance, I hit through it, Psycho Shock takes out the Rotom. So that's quite a bit of hacks in my favor so far. And he sends in Shandera, and I have no way to take anything that thing throws at me. I'm kind of screwed at this point, and Starmie was my only hope against half of his team, so I'm in a bad position even though score-wise I'm still ahead for the moment. Switching to Flygon, go for the Stone Edge, and miss. So Leftovers will bring him up a little bit. And that happens to be just enough that my own Stone Edge won't kill this time. He roosts, he's again getting back more than I'm doing for damage, so I have to switch. I guess I went for a second Stone Edge. Maybe I was hoping for the Pair Hacks, and I guess I got it, so that's good for me. Go for it again, and that takes out these Zapdos. Metagross comes in. I'm going to switch because obviously Stone Edge isn't going to do much. I send out Natoré. I know he's not going to leave Metagross, and he's going to send in Shandera, so I go straight for Toxic, since that's probably the only way I have a chance to take out Shandera. Or Chandelure, I'm sorry, English names. And Ferrothorn, again, English names, not used to them yet. Flamethrower will obviously take out the Ferrothorn, and Toxic will do a small amount of damage. I send Flygon, go for the Earthquake, because that affects a good chunk of his team. I know that after the Metagross takes damage, he's going to switch to Latios, so I switch as well, going to Infinite. I actually was kind of stupid for staying in here. Stay in, eat the Surf, and that's that. I lose Infinite. And I don't know anything about his Latios, but that did work as a way for me to bring in Scissoroni the Revenge Kill with Pursuit. So maybe that wasn't such a bad move. He sends in Blaziken, and there's absolutely nothing I can do to hurt that. So I send in Flygon, thinking, oh, he'll probably go for the Fire move, maybe to protect. Nope, I Jump Kick, and that will take out Flygon. So Zapdos comes in next. There we go. Getting ahead of my aeration gun. Zapdos comes in. I substitute, thinking that if he had Jump Kicks or anything, maybe I'll get away with having a substitute after the Discharge. but that's not going to work in my favor because Stone Edge is just going to keep taking the substitute. So I discharge and see if that'll do anything. Blaziken lives pretty handily. I was a little bit surprised by that, but oh well. Goes for the overheat. I live. I think I roosted. Probably hoping that eventually he'd be worn out. I think he has a life orb, so I think he's constantly losing health after each attack. But I think the next Stone Edge takes me out, so Roost stalling wasn't going to work. So now I have to think of something else to try. I send in Scizor to try to kill that with Bullet Punch. I do manage to hit. Well, obviously I hit. It's not like the Garchomp in the next match. But he sends in Chandera. There's nothing I can do. Bullet Punch, another crit. So, but he does live and finishes me with the Nuclear. So good game, ArmedFro. Sorry for all the hacks. I'll see you around.